This is going to be likely an unpopular video. There is so much that wants to be said. And I work as a vessel to be as gentle and loving as I can be. And at the same time, there's so much fire that can come out. And it's empowerment. It's not a distorted fire. There is a difference between a true magician, the imitation of a magician. There is a difference between love and the imitation of love. And as a society, as a collective, we have traded at some point true love for the imitation of it, true magic for the imitation of it. And I want to kind of explain why. Like what is this whole good versus evil, light versus dark? What does that mean? And it's like this. I am wanted to experience itself. What do I feel like? So I am created so that it could experience itself. And then came a question, what am I not? What is the opposite of me? Like, what does it feel like to not feel me? What is it like to not experience me? So that one could really appreciate what I am, who I am. So this is really powerful because so many dynamics and things that are occurring are changing because they were not built on integrity, and they were not built on truth. They were not built on love. They were built on the imitation of it. They were not built on true magic. They were built on the imitation of it. And in the presence of I am, there is no distortion. One doesn't have to do things to remove distortion because there is none in the presence of I am. All truth comes to the light. All things of the unconscious comes to the light. Simply by being in the presence of I am. And that is something within you. And a lot of us have given our power away because we traded the truth for that which was outside of us. We gave up our power. So then we had to create tools to try and get it back, to try and build it. Or so that's what we thought that we were doing. Maybe some of you didn't even realize that's what you were doing. The whole point of tools, the whole point of crystals, the whole point of anything is to help build the muscle of that which is already inside. And this has been in preparation for us all as human beings to step out as creators, to be in that flow of creation to where we do not have to keep relying so heavily on everything outside of us. But true power comes from love. That is the greatest power there is. And I know this because I have cycled through every type of power there is that is currently known, that has become into the light. And love is the most powerful. And part of my journey in this lifetime was to experience the opposite, to experience what I am not, so I can better understand who I am. And this was basically me transmuting fear into love. And people think that fear is just a horror movie where you scream and you're so scared and you're paralyzed and that's it. And that's fear. But fear comes in many forms, with many faces, with many voices. It can be deceiving, it can hide, it can disguise. So fear is apathy, shame, greed, envy, anxiety, depression, internal disconnect from one's own truth. Fear comes in many forms, and it is disempowering. And love is what empowers. And so my journey was to transmute fear, transcend it into love. So I see it in people. I can recognize it in others. And by design, I am someone who helps in the most gentle way possible to draw it out. To draw out that fear, because that fear makes one cloudy. They are not in a position to be empowered to create without this constant reassurance and permission from that, which is higher than them. Keeps them from being the type of creators that they are capable of, that they are called to be, that they are chosen to be. So I help draw it out in the gentlest way that I can. The thing is that was incredibly distorted the moment that it kept being perceived by mankind. The moment it is put in a message and it crosses paths with the human experience, the ego, the perception is already being distorted in itself. And because of this, a lot of things have occurred in the so-called authority or name of I am that hurt a lot of people. Because there's the truth of I am, and then there's the imitation of it. And one knows the difference by paying attention to the fruits of the Spirit. And it allows you to see where you're at. There's no right or wrong way with this. It's more about seeing where you're at. Are you having a relationship with I am or the imitation of it? Do you have the fruits of the Spirit or the imitation of it? And it's simply an imitation for one to transmute and transcend into the real deal. You can't earn it. There's nothing, shame is not of love. I mean, it's so simple. It is simply choosing love over fear. That's all it is. This is not about a religion. This is not about you have to ask something to come inside of you. Again, this is not about something outside of you. It is something within. It is the ability to choose love over fear all the time. And I've been speaking a lot today. My voice is going to go out for a little bit and then it'll come back. Let me just give that a moment for a second. In this way, we can come to an understanding that I am has been having a relationship with you from the very beginning. You have never been separated from it. It's impossible to be separated from it. It's impossible to be disconnected from it. It is only a perception that you could ever be disconnected from it. It is only a perception that something could ever get in the way between you and your relationship with I am. That which is you, inside of you. The experience of I am. Only a perception that can distort your relationship, your sense of relationship. So I am has been having a relationship with you from the very beginning. The difference is when one consciously becomes aware that the relationship is occurring, and then what choice they make with that. And this isn't like I make a choice and it's a done deal and that's forever. The choice is constant all the time, daily, in the now. You can make a choice simply to choose love over fear and to be present with the relationship going on within you. Because you are, I am, experiencing itself. And when you are not experiencing I am, you are experiencing what I am not, which is the shadow. And it has purpose. It has purpose. How we treat each other matters. How we talk to each other matters. In the presence of love, there is no secrets. In the presence of love, there is no hate. In the presence of love, there is no wrong. It just is. It's love. And when we embody love, unconditional love, when we truly embody that, we are in our power. Not the imitation of it. We are in our genuine power. And we are like a vessel for I am to work through to create its vision for us and for I am. We each have a vision that's been promised to us. It's been sealed on our hearts. And many of you simply don't remember that when you came here as a child, you did remember. You already know it. You knew it when you were a child. And this is a time that a lot of us are returning to the remembrance of that dream, of that promise that was put on our hearts. And so you're only going to find it. You're only going to understand it. You're only going to have clarity with it when you start focusing on the heart, the intentions of it, the health of it, when you are connected to it. Everyone is always about, it's all about the higher self. It's all about the higher self. It is very much about the heart as well. It's not just about a higher self. It's definitely about what the heart has, its own form of wisdom, its own form of life. And it is deeply connected to unconditional love. And what has occurred is that many of us in our relationships, we've got defense mechanisms that trigger each other all the time. And it keeps people from being unified in love, which is powerful. And you see it with money. People trade love for money or greed. And they don't realize that when we choose love first, when we choose love, we then choose everything else. Because love multiplies, love blesses, love grows. Everything else is a byproduct of that love. And just because it's been different in the past, just because there's been exceptions and there's success stories and this and that, relationships, whatever you want to replace here, understand that the old ways are dying out. The old ways are dying out. The feminine is coming out of the shadow, and she is here to help bridge love and integrate love back into everything. And so the only way that somebody is going to actually have the byproduct of things is to be able to choose love. You want a healthy relationship, you have to be willing to choose love. You want to heal illness and diseases, you have to be willing to choose love. You want to heal your finances, you have to be willing to choose love. It's kind of like that. And I'm going to get rid of the word have, because we don't have to anything, but we are all being given choices that greatly impacts the direction. So, I do have a free course that is free. The value of it is extremely high, but giving it away for free is exactly what feels inspired and what feels to do. Okay, we'll just say it that way. And it's all about taking your power back and overcoming fear. And you can find that at thelighthouseacademy.org at the Sacred Jaguar course, which is all about healing inner divisions to reclaim your power so that you can stop giving your power to that which is outside of you, which just becomes an imitation. It leads home. All paths lead home. You're eventually going to make it to what home means to you. So it's not about, there's no way to mess this up. It's just becoming more conscious of what path you want to take and how you want to get there. And what kind of experiences you want to have on the way. Some of you might choose something more difficult, some of you might choose something more easier, and that's because that's what you are choosing to experience. Everything that we experience, we are choosing because we are creators. We are co-creating. And when we take that personal responsibility and stand in our sovereignty, that is when we begin to fully understand our power. And until we can do that, a lot of our power stays in shadow for a reason. Because imagine shadow having that much power. Can you imagine the chaos? Can you imagine? I mean, we've seen it happen. We've already seen that. We've already seen somebody operating with so much shadow that they've went off and done genocides. They've created genocides and, the Holocaust. disasters. They've been a part of disasters and things that have, preying on people. So until we move through everything that we're not to better understand what we are, we gain our power along the way. And it's like going through initiation. We graduate. The work's not done, but we reach a place where we're able to really stand in our power. We are the captain of our vessel, the captain of our ship. And at that point, it's been approved. It's been initiated. You are ready to create. You are ready to trust yourself, to trust in yourself, and to break free from all that is limiting you. Timelines that have been limiting or shattering, you can shatter those and be limitless. And understand that there is great responsibility with being a creator. There is great responsibility with co-creating. What you do matters. What your intentions are matters. What you say matters. How you treat people matters. Because this is all shaping what is forming. It's shaping what is occurring. It is shaping what's in the, what we call the past. So taking personal responsibility is the first step to being empowered enough to do something, to actually do something. And knowing the difference between inspired action versus mental action is very crucial. Because inspired action is in spirit. And it knows, it is connected to the all-knowing and the all-seeing. And mental inspiration is a completely different thing. So knowing what the inspired action is and taking those steps, following that dream that's been put in your heart, that is essentially the message that wanted to come through. I'm glad I got to clear that. Shadow side that try to come through with the hurt throat. It does that because I am a human being like anybody else. I'm just like all of you. The only thing that is occurring here is that I am someone who embodies love and has been embodying and transmuting love for quite some time. And when we do that, we become a very clear channel, powerful, open channel for I am to work through. And we create that which we truly desire without all of the chaos, distortions, frustrations. You don't have to train hard for this. It is simply surrendering to I am. And, so often we try to give meaning to stuff. We try to really attach meanings to everything because that is how we learn. It's what our ego does to feel safe, to feel like, okay, well, how do I make sense of this, right? Because, being able to integrate things is very powerful. This message, being able to integrate this and embody this is important. Otherwise, it's going to fly right by you, which is fine. It's your choice. Integration is powerful. But at the same time, sometimes the meanings we put to things are simply not serving. And so this is a great time for you to review that, to review things in your life and experiences and even what I'm saying, and to really question what meanings have you given things and understand that that is creating right now in your life. That is co-creating with you. These meanings and attachments and agreements are co-creating with you. So review them, your beliefs, review them and make sure that what they are creating, co-creating, is that which you truly desire and that which is truly good for you, for your highest good. If you want your life to look different, if you want things to rebuild, because it's like starting at ground zero right now. All that which is not serving of you is all crumbling down. All that which was not built on integrity and truth and love is crumbling down, including dirty money, greedy money, relationships that weren't built on truth and love. What we've done as in the workforce as employees and employers, and how those dynamics worked. Let me tell you something. I don't say that I work under. I work with. There's a really big difference between, what do you do for a living? Oh, I work under. I study under. I work with. I study with. Who do you work for? I don't work for anybody. I work with. That is empowerment. Where in your life are you choosing and settling for disempowerment over empowerment? And just spending time with all of this and questioning that and taking the time so that you can integrate can be incredibly freeing for you, incredibly quickly, and you will be quite amazed at how fast you can change the direction that you are headed right now. It is a limitless time. So it is a perfect time to become very clear of what you desire and what the greater vision for you is, and to become empowered, step in your empowerment and make it happen. And if anybody wants to work with me, I am taking clients right now. You can reach out to me if you desire. But I ask that you all have a wonderful day, and that this message reaches those in the way that is most serving for their highest good. And that is it. I love you guys.